Gearbox CEO Randy Pitchford offers his thoughts on the Epic Game Store. Gearbox Borderlands 3 is one of the latest games announced to be skipping Steam for a few months in favor of the Epic Game Store, a decision that Studio CEO discussed on Twitter recently. His thoughts on the nature of the relationship between Steam and the Epic Game Store were captured in a lengthy Twitter thread and later rounded up into a more readable arrangement on Reddit. It's a long read, but one that offers a look at the benefits he sees in the Epic Game Store, both in terms the store as its own platform and as an important source of competition for Valve's long-dominant Steam storefront. Right off the bat, he does note that the Borderlands 3 exclusivity call was one made by publisher 2K Games rather than Pitchford on Gearbox. So while I may have some influence, I cannot force anything, and this ship has sailed, so to speak. Pitchford notes that he has decades of experience working with the two now competing companies, and says that there are fundamental differences between the motivations each company has to guard its own storefront. In the case of Valve, Pitchford says a lack of competition has enabled the company to reinvest Steam income into other endeavors, rather than the store itself. They have had no external force sufficient to challenge their revenue share, and no external force sufficient to motivate a sufficient reinvestment of revenue. Epic, from Pitchford's point of view, is differently set up from Valve right now, partially because Epic is a public company with shareholders he says are very motivated to reinvest in the company versus Valve's status as a private company. All of those plays are going to be fed by a business that is not taking cash out of their system and putting it into individuals' pockets, but was putting all of their cash back into their system. Says Pitchford, the competitive store that happens to be the leader in 10 years may not be Epic's store, but it probably will not be Valve's, and Epic's moves right now are opening the door and paving the way for a vibrant competitive economy. He says later in the thread, competition in stores is going to be absolutely best for consumers, and probably good for developers and publishers as well. The stores that tend to win are the stores that offer the best to their customers. It's very difficult for customer interest to begin with one store. These comments are only part of his thoughts on the matter. The full thread can be found on Reddit, and the full reply to it on Twitter. Reports have emerged that Verizon is quietly working on its own entry in the emerging cloud-based game streaming race. According to The Verge, the service is called Verizon Gaming, and is currently undergoing a selective alpha test on the NVIDIA Shield, though a Google Play rollout is reportedly planned for later this month. The trial, according to emails to alpha participants, aims to test the performance of the 135 streamable games offered in the closed alpha, while the existence of Verizon Gaming is all but confirmed at this point. Most of the actual details about the app itself are less certain. For instance, there is a chance, based on a logo in a screenshot obtained by The Verge, that the service is built on the game streaming app Atomic, which itself officially launched just last year, after a 2-year-long beta period. There's also the likelihood that Verizon Gaming will eventually take advantage of 5G broadband, though the alpha currently only works with a Wi-Fi connection. A handful of job listings on Verizon's website, sponsored by The Verge, advertised that the company is looking to hire product managers for cloud gaming, 5G mobile gaming, and other related roles. News of Verizon's secretive game streaming app comes just days after reports emerged that Amazon is reportedly looking at starting its own cloud based service as well, though any information on Amazon's service comes from unnamed sources. That service is reportedly set to go live in 2020. Google, meanwhile, has already ran public tests for its Project Stream cloud gaming attempt by offering beta participants the opportunity to play Ubisoft's Assassin's Creed Odyssey through its Google Chrome-based streaming app. The Academy of Interactive Arts Sciences has revealed the game's up for honors at this year's DICE Awards show, with God of War, Spider-Man, and Red Dead Redemption 2 leading the pack for 2019's event. Sony Santa Monica's God of War has been nominated across 12 categories, the most nominations for this year's award candidates, including Outstanding Achievement in Animation, Art Direction, Character, Sound Design, and Technical Achievement. Spider-Man trails that with 11 nominations in many of those same categories. All in all, 56 games have been nominated across 23 different categories, including Game of the Year nominees God of War, Into the Breach, Marvel's Spider-Man, Red Dead Redemption 2, and Return of the Obra Dinn. Winners in each category are set to be announced at the DICE Awards show on February 13th, while IOS members will start the voting process to determine this year's winners on January 11th. In addition to the Game Focused Awards, this year's DICE Awards will also see 343 industries born as inducted into the IOS Hall of Fame, an honor that sees her recognized alongside past inductees like Todd Howard, Hideo Kojima, and Leslie Benzies. A small selection of this year's nominees can be found just below, while the full list is already up over on the IOS website. Valen Studios, a new studio created by former Vicarious Visions founders Guha and Kauthik Bala, have signed a deal with Electronic Arts to publish their first game. The band is previously founded Vicarious Visions back in 1990, and the studio is best known for working on titles like the Guitar Hero series, the Skylander series, Crash Bandicoot 10, Same Trilogy, and Destiny 2, as detailed in a press release. Electronic Arts' third-party publishing division partners will distribute Valen's first original intellectual property for consoles, PC, and mobile. While no further information about the unannounced game was publicly revealed, Valen is promising an entirely new and entertaining way to experience team-based action. The studio is also adding 14 new jobs to work on the project, exploring the boundaries of play with new technology and play patterns is what makes it stick, said Valen Studio CEO and co-founder Kauthik Bala. Our plan was always simple: build an awesome team, find the magic in something new that the team was passionate about, and then enable their success. We are looking forward to introducing their vision and developing it along with players for many years to come. Hyper Light Drifter is receiving its own TV show led by developer Oz Preston and producer Adi Shankar, who is best known for creating the Netflix adaptations of Castlevania and the upcoming Devil May Cry. This is another example of video games being adapted for television. But it will be interesting to see how the two creatives will interpret a game with no dialogue for a new, non-interactive medium. Preston confirmed to Polygon that he and Shankar are actively in development on the animated series, based on Hyper Light Drifter, developed by his indie studio Heart Machine back in 2016 for consoles, under arriving to Switch in 2018. The difference between a series and a game is vast in a lot of ways. Preston tells Polygon, Hyper Light as a game was pretty atmospheric and kind of overbearing at times. For a series, the question is, How do you sustain and keep your attention on a non-interactive run? Does it get really dark and serious? Does it have some levity? Preston added that he wants Shankara, meaning a lot more of us, something that's representative of the game on the style side, but that the visuals will most likely lean towards a Japanese animation style, as opposed to a literal interpretation of the game's pixel designs. As you are gearing up for the 2019 Game Developers Conference next month, organizers would like to quickly let you know about some of the great day-long sponsored developer days you can enjoy during the show. All developer day sessions take during the first 2 days of DD, Monday and Tuesday, March 18th and 19th, and offer cutting-edge insight and opportunities to learn from some of the top companies in the industry. Here's a sample of what's in store for you during the DD 2019 Developer Days, served up in an easy-to-read list format. A number of companies are presenting that day sessions this year, and today we are excited to highlight offerings from Google, Autodesk, Solar, Substance, and the Chronos Group. Building successful monetization and growth strategies. Hear how top game developers challenge traditional mobile game business models and find success through diversifying their revenue streams.